Welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. I am excited to introduce our presentation on the Department of Entomology at the University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, Pakistan. The focus of today's talk is understanding the ecological impact and application of insecticides. We will explore how insecticides play a role in pest management, their potential in agriculture, and the possible environmental consequences. Over the next few minutes, I'll guide you through these key topics to deepen our understanding of this important subject. Let's start by understanding what we mean by the environment. Essentially, it refers to all the physical, chemical, and biological factors that surround us and influence living organisms. It's not just the air we breathe or the water we drink, but everything that impacts life around us. The environment includes both abiotic and biotic components. Abiotic components are non-living factors like temperature, sunlight, water, air, and soil. These are the physical aspects that shape the conditions in which living things exist. On the other hand, biotic components are the living parts, such as plants, animals, and microorganisms. Together, these elements form a complex system that sustains life. Now, focusing on the abiotic components, we see that physical factors like temperature and sunlight play crucial roles in determining the types of organisms that can survive in a particular area. Water and soil are also vital because they provide essential resources and support for life. Chemical factors are equally important. Nutrients, pH levels, and minerals influence the health and growth of living organisms. For example, the availability of nutrients in the soil can affect plant growth, which in turn impacts entire ecosystems. Understanding these components helps us see how interconnected everything is in the environment. Recognizing this connection is key as we explore how humans interact with and impact these natural systems throughout this presentation. Let's take a closer look at the biotic components of an ecosystem. First, we have producers. These are mostly plants and algae, and they play a vital role because they produce energy through photosynthesis. Basically, they take sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water and turn them into the food that sustains the entire ecosystem. Next, we have consumers. These are the organisms that eat other organisms. They include herbivores, which eat plants, carnivores, which eat other animals, and omnivores, which do both. Consumers are essential because they transfer energy from producers to higher levels in the food chain. Then there are decomposers, like fungi and bacteria. Their job is to break down organic matter from dead plants and animals. This process releases nutrients back into the environment, making them available for producers to use again, which keeps the ecosystem balanced and healthy. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding these biotic components helps us see how energy flows and nutrients cycle within ecosystems. It's a complex but beautifully interconnected system that sustains life on Earth. A balanced environment is crucial because it ensures the sustainability of our ecosystems and the incredible biodiversity that depends on them. When everything is in harmony, plants, animals, and humans can coexist and thrive. However, disruptions like pollution and habitat destruction can upset this balance. These disturbances can cause ecological imbalances, which threaten the health of the entire environment. That's why maintaining environmental balance is so important. It helps preserve the natural systems that support life and ensures that future generations can enjoy a healthy planet. This concept ties into the overall theme of our presentation, emphasizing that our actions today directly impact the health of our environment tomorrow. Now let's talk about what insecticides actually are. Simply put, they are chemicals designed to kill or control insect populations. You'll find them widely used in agriculture to protect crops, in public health to combat disease vectors, and even in household settings to manage pests. Moving on to the types of insecticides, there are a few main categories to understand. First, we have contact insecticides. These work by killing insects upon direct contact, like pyrethroids, which are quite common. Then there are systemic insecticides. These are absorbed by plants, so when insects feed on the treated plants, they are effectively killed. Neonicotinoids are a good example of this type. Finally, we have fumigants, which are gaseous insecticides used mainly in enclosed spaces. Methyl bromide, for instance, is used to sterilize stored products or soil before planting. So, what's the role of insecticides in pest management? They are essential tools that help us control pests efficiently, protecting crops, public health, and our homes. When used properly, they form a crucial part of integrated pest management strategies, allowing us to keep pest populations in check while minimizing damage and disease transmission. Let's now look at the advantages of insecticides. First, efficiency. Insecticides provide a quick and effective way to control pests, which is crucial in managing infestations before they cause significant damage. Next, we have economic benefits. By controlling pests, insecticides help increase agricultural productivity and reduce crop losses, supporting farmers and the economy overall. Public health is also a major advantage. Insecticides play a vital role in controlling disease vectors like mosquitoes, which transmit illnesses such as malaria, thereby protecting communities. Now, while insecticides have these benefits, it's important to consider their disadvantages as well. One major concern is environmental pollution. Insecticides can contaminate soil, water, and air, leading to broader ecological impacts. Another issue is their non-target effects. They can harm beneficial insects too, such as pollinators like bees, which are essential for healthy ecosystems and food production. Lastly, pests can develop resistance over time, making insecticides less effective and requiring the development of new control strategies. In the context of pest management, insecticides are a powerful tool, but they must be used wisely and responsibly to balance their benefits with potential risks. Let's talk about the importance of pesticides in agriculture. First, they play a crucial role in increasing crop yields by protecting crops from pests, diseases, and weeds. This means more food produced on the same amount of land, which is vital for feeding our growing populations. Secondly, pesticides help ensure food security by maintaining a stable and reliable food supply. Without them, we could face significant losses due to pest outbreaks. Thirdly, the use of pesticides supports economic growth because they help farmers and agricultural industries stay productive and profitable. This, in turn, sustains livelihoods and contributes to local and national economies. Now, moving on to the types of pesticides used. Insecticides are designed to control insect pests like aphids and caterpillars that can damage crops. Herbicides, such as glyphosate, target weeds that compete with crops for nutrients and space. Fungicides are used to fight fungal diseases like powdery mildew, which can severely affect plant health. Lastly, rodenticides control rodents like rats that can cause damage and spread diseases. Overall, pesticides hold significant potential in agriculture by helping us produce more food efficiently and sustainably, but it's also important to use them responsibly. Now, let's talk about some of the key challenges associated with pesticide use. First, overuse and misuse are significant issues. When pesticides are used excessively or improperly, they can pose serious environmental and health hazards. This isn't just about the pests, it's about the unintended consequences on our ecosystems and human health. Next, resistance is a growing concern. Pests can develop resistance over time, which means the pesticides become less effective. This leads to a cycle where more or stronger chemicals are needed, creating further challenges. Finally, the cost of pesticides is another important factor. High costs can be a real burden for small-scale farmers, making it difficult for them to access effective pest control while maintaining their livelihoods. While pesticides offer undeniable benefits in agriculture, these challenges highlight the need for balanced, sustainable approaches. It's about finding ways to protect crops effectively without causing harm or incurring unsustainable costs. Let's take a closer look at the environmental consequences of pesticide use. First, soil contamination is a significant concern. Pesticides like DDT can persist in the soil for years, affecting soil microorganisms and reducing soil fertility. This can have long-term impacts on crop productivity and ecosystem health. Moving on to water pollution, runoff from agricultural fields often carries pesticides into nearby rivers, lakes, and even groundwater sources. For example, neonicotinoids have been found to contaminate aquatic ecosystems, harming aquatic insects which are vital for healthy aquatic food webs. Regarding air pollution, volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, released from pesticides can contribute to air quality issues, affecting both human health and the environment. Finally, there's the impact on biodiversity. Many pesticides, especially neonicotinoids, harm non-target species such as bees, birds, and fish. We've seen declines in pollinator populations, which are essential for pollination and maintaining healthy ecosystems. These points highlight how pesticide use can have far-reaching, often unintended, consequences on our environment and underscore the importance of considering these impacts in our overall approach. When we talk about the health consequences of pesticide use, it's crucial to understand the risks to human health. First, there's the risk of acute poisoning, which can happen through direct exposure, especially during handling or application. These immediate effects can be quite severe. But beyond that, there are also chronic effects that might not show up right away, such as increased risks of cancer, reproductive problems, and neurological damage. These long-term health issues can have a profound impact on individuals and families. Farmers and workers are particularly vulnerable. During pesticide application, their exposure levels are often much higher. Unfortunately, in many developing countries, there's a lack of protective equipment, which makes this risk even greater. This highlights a significant occupational health concern linked to pesticide use. Moving on to the economic consequences, the costs are also substantial. Contaminated sites require expensive cleanup efforts to restore the environment, which can strain public resources. Additionally, the decline in pollinators like bees affects crop yields, leading to reduced food production and economic losses for farmers. Plus, we can't forget the healthcare costs associated with treating illnesses caused by pesticides. These can add up significantly over time. All of these points connect back to the overall theme. While pesticides can boost crop production, their health and economic impacts are serious and must be carefully considered. Let's take a closer look at DDT and its environmental impact. DDT was widely used during the mid-20th century, primarily for controlling malaria and supporting agricultural productivity. It was seen as a miracle chemical at the time because it significantly reduced malaria cases in many regions around the world. However, despite these positive effects, there were serious negative consequences. One of the most critical issues was bioaccumulation, where DDT built up in the food chain. For example, birds of prey like bald eagles were heavily affected. Their populations declined because DDT caused eggshell thinning, which led to reproductive failures. This environmental damage eventually led to a major regulatory change. DDT was banned under the Stockholm Convention, which was established to address global environmental and health risks associated with persistent chemicals like DDT. So this case study really highlights how a chemical can have both beneficial and harmful effects, underscoring the importance of understanding environmental impact before widespread use. Now, let's take a closer look at the case study involving neonicotinoids and pollinator decline. Neonicotinoids are a type of systemic insecticide that are widely used in agriculture to protect crops from pests. They are absorbed by the plant and can be present in nectar and pollen, which unfortunately exposes pollinators like bees to these chemicals. Research has shown a clear link between neonicotinoids and the decline of bee populations worldwide. These chemicals don't just kill bees outright, they also have sublethal effects. For example, they can impair a bee's ability to forage effectively, navigate back to the hive, and even impact their reproductive capabilities. This has raised significant concerns about the health of our pollinator populations and, ultimately, our ecosystems and food security. As a regulatory response, The European Union took action in 2018 by banning certain neonicotinoids to mitigate these risks. This case underscores how a single class of chemicals, when used extensively, can have far-reaching effects on vital pollinators, which ties directly into our broader discussion about the importance of sustainable pest management and protecting biodiversity. Let's take a closer look at some sustainable pest management practices. First, we have integrated pest management, or IPM. This approach combines biological, cultural, mechanical, and chemical methods to control pests. The key idea here is to reduce our reliance on chemical pesticides, which can have negative environmental impacts. For example, using natural predators like ladybugs to control aphids is a great way to manage pests naturally and effectively. Moving on to biopesticides, these are derived from natural sources such as bacteria, fungi, or plants. They are environmentally friendly and tend to be very target-specific, meaning they target only the pests we want to control without harming other beneficial organisms. Bacillus thuringiensis, or BT, is a well-known example used to control caterpillars. Next is precision agriculture. This involves using advanced technology, like drones and sensors, to apply pesticides only where they are needed. By doing this, we significantly reduce the amount of chemicals used and minimize environmental impact, making our pest management more efficient and sustainable. Finally, policy and education play crucial roles. Promoting awareness and implementing regulations help ensure pesticides are used safely and responsibly. For instance, training farmers on the proper techniques for pesticide application helps protect both their health and the environment. Overall, these practices are all about making pest management more sustainable, effective, and environmentally conscious, which aligns perfectly with our goal of promoting healthier ecosystems and safer agricultural practices. Now, let's look at some promising developments in creating safer pesticides. One key area is developing biodegradable and target-specific formulations, which means designing pesticides that break down naturally and only affect specific pests, reducing environmental harm. Next, genetic engineering plays a significant role. For example, pest-resistant crops like BT cotton have been engineered to produce their own pest deterrents, minimizing the need for chemical applications. Nanotechnology is also opening new doors. Nanopesticides can be designed for controlled release, which means they deliver the active ingredients more precisely and gradually, leading to less runoff and lower environmental impact. Finally, global collaboration is crucial. International agreements are being established to regulate the use of harmful pesticides worldwide, ensuring safer practices and protecting ecosystems across borders. All these directions are aligned with our overall goal of making pest control more sustainable, effective, and environmentally friendly. Pesticides definitely play a vital role in helping us manage pests and improve crop yields, but it's important to remember that they can also have serious environmental and health impacts. That's why adopting sustainable practices like integrated pest management, or IPM, biopesticides, and precision agriculture is so crucial. These methods help us control pests effectively while minimizing harm to the environment and human health. Responsible pesticide use, combined with switching to eco-friendly alternatives when possible, is key to balancing our need for food security with the health of our planet. Ultimately, by working together and making smarter choices, we can ensure a sustainable future for agriculture and the environment. Thank you so much for your attention today. I really appreciate you taking the time to go through this presentation with me. I hope it has provided some valuable insights and a clear understanding of the key points we've discussed. Remember, the ideas we've explored are all about improving and advancing our work, so I encourage you to take these concepts forward. Once again, thank you for being such an engaged audience. I look forward to seeing how you'll apply these in your own projects. Have a great day.